Hey y'all, welcome back to another reaction video for the Take and Talk. We're gonna be taking and talking. I mean, come on guys. Let's get into it. Put my headphones on. You already know. Tuka. Here we go. Oh. Okay, that's intriguing.
I honestly do believe we live under a dome, and here's why. I'm gonna point out 4 things, and here's one of them. When just about every Disney logo has this little round thing at the top. Disney movies, they always do this little shooting star curving around the castle. And I'm pretty sure we all know that they love to use subliminal messages. And then we've got the halo around the sun. I'm pretty sure we've all seen this before. That's in real life or on the internet. Then the famous rainbow. The dome was even introduced in the Hunger Games, The Simpsons when Homer hit the baseball and it hit the dome and water came falling through, Kong when he threw the stick at the dome, and Chicken Little when he was saying the sky was falling and a piece of the sky fell. Not only that, just about every single culture has talked about a dome. Look at NASA right here trying to be the oddball. This was even talked about in the Bible as well. It's called the 3-story universe. So if that's the case, why do people believe that?
Well, that definitely gives you something to think about. I mean, the Disney has a little, thought it was like an arch, but like I'll say a little dome. I never really thought about it that, I don't know if you guys saw, well, obviously you had to see. It had the picture. I'm gonna try to put it back up here so you can see it. When he mentioned that every other country, they do recognize the dome besides us in America. That was interesting to see as well. I mean, that definitely will make you think twice or 3 times, you know. Let me know what you think in the comments, because I mean, it's referenced so much that we have to kind of think about it like, tilt your head just a little bit and think a little harder. It might be an option. Let's get into it. Are single mothers the new government target? Dun dun dun.
Project 2025 doesn't just demonize single mothers, it wants to change policies to punish single moms and perhaps even remove children from single parent households. Don't take my word for it, let me show you. Their top priority is promise number 1, restoring the family as the centerpiece of American life. And they specifically call out unmarried mothers as a reason that the American family is in crisis. 400 pages later, when you get to their section on the Department of Health and Human Services, you see that they want to rewrite what the definition of a family is to be comprised of a married mother and father and their children, saying that currently Health and Human Services is too focused on LGBTQ plus equity and subsidizing single motherhood, and saying that these policies should be repealed and replaced by policies that support the formation of stable married nuclear families. It's not enough to be heterosexual, by the way, because they also call out homes with non-related boyfriends as being most dangerous places for a child. And they don't much like surrogacy either. In the context of emerging reproductive technologies, Health and Human Services should never place the desire of adults over the right of a child to be raised by the biological fathers and mothers who conceived them. Here's a horrifying paragraph. The Secretary of Health and Human Services anti-discrimination policy statements should never conflate sex with gender identity or sexual orientation. Rather, the Secretary should proudly state that men and women are biological realities that are crucial to the advancement of life sciences and medical care, and that married men and women are the ideal natural family structure because all children have a right to be raised by the men and women who conceived them. They also want to promote reunification as a part of child support, which is terrifying for domestic violence survivors. And they want to institute a healthy marriage and relationship education program in every state level high school in America, with curriculum on healthy marriages. Oh, I wasn't kidding about child support either. Child support in the United States should strengthen marriage as the norm, restore broken homes, and encourage unmarried couples to commit to marriage. There's also a line in here that basically says that if you're the parent of a transgender child, that is child abuse. And if everything I've read hasn't sounded too bad, you haven't been reading between the lines, and this line here should clear it up. But the pro-family promises expressed in this book and central to the next conservative president's agenda must go much further than the traditional narrow definition of family issues. Every threat to family stability must be confronted. This resolve should color each of our policies. And any family that's not a heterosexual married family, that's a threat to them.
So first, I just want to say that was a doozy. That was long. A lot of information, a lot to take in, and a lot for my brain to remember to go back to. So first and foremost, I thought that this was going to focus on like single mothers. I mean, but it hit on so many different topics. Like it's hard just to focus on one. So let's just start with the fact that they're trying to promote family. There's nothing wrong with promoting family. I don't think so. I think that, okay, I'll just speak for myself. I am from a two-parent like household, and a lot of the people that I grew up around, they came from two-parent households as well. And sometimes you can have that great family structure, and that child just might not get it. I'm just being honest. It's some friends that I also grew up with who only had one parent or the other, and they turned out fine. So I don't really necessarily think that the government needs to be so much in everybody's business. I think that's the hard part too. They're a little nosy. Like, I mean, I understand, like, with single mothers, when they need aid and everything, there has to be some type of rhetoric to it. Because if they didn't have that rhetoric, a lot of abuse would still be happening, like abusing the system, like having kids just to have kids so that you can keep the housing and keep the food stamps and keep the medical, like all that stuff. So like, I get on that aspect. I do think that having a two-parent household, just because that is what I had growing up, it is different having your mother and your father, because your father will discipline you differently than your mother will, and your mother will love you differently than your father will. But they both give you discipline and they both give you love. It's just different aspects of it. And I do feel like as a child growing up, you do need both parents, because they're going to give you different structures. But I don't want to say that kids need to be taken away from their parents just because they have one parent. But I totally understand, like, if one of the parents is being abused by the other. I don't know. I feel like it was so much packed in there. That should have just been a video on its own to stop and pause a lot in between. The aspect of saying that the parents did something wrong if that child comes out and they're transgender, that's a little tough. Because I mean, there are situations where parents could have been taking their kids to church, and that child still, could be gay or bisexual or whatever it is. So I don't know. I feel like sometimes, I feel like you can't put all of that on the parent, because kids are going to have their own viewpoints. You can do your best, and that's all we can do as parents, is do our best. But look, I've been talking so much, my computer didn't went off. All we can do as parents is do our best. And I don't really think that it's fair that the government wants to try to punish a single parent household. Because I do think that being a single parent is hard, because I experienced it for some years. And it was difficult. I was blessed because I had my family, and my boyfriend at the time, he did help me. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But I have to say, my boyfriend became my husband, so I guess every situation is different. I'm so sorry. Okay, but I mean, that's a lot to unpack. I mean, I don't know if what this lady started this TikTok with is actually what transpired, because it was supposed to be about single mothers, and it went into everything else and under the sun. So if I would just like to say one thing to that TikToker, I don't know if you paid attention in school, because you went on a tangent that had nothing to do with what you started with. Bye.